Yes, thank you very much, Abraham. We spoke of virtual reality. Is the point to get to the feeling place specifically related to a dream job situation? Please clarify the process for me.
One would think that it would be. In other words, if you're looking for a dream job, then it seems that doing a virtual reality about that would be more effective. But what we sometimes notice is if there is something that you very much want, that you are very much not living, it's harder for you to do a virtual reality about that than it might be about some other thing. When you are in the state of allowing, you are in the state of allowing. So you could do a virtual reality about anything that would make you feel good, and if you could maintain those kinds of virtual realities that make you feel good, then your dream job would come because you've already asked for it. So the answer is, you don't have to think about the work to get the dream job. But since you're probably going to think about the work anyway, then it is good to practice thinking about it in a way that allows the dream job.
Do you suggest...
Here's an example of this.
Please.
Jerry and Esther, as you know, travel a great deal. And one of their favorite places to be is in California at a little city near San Diego called La Jolla. And they like to sit down on the cliffs, on the big rocks, and just watch the beautiful water and the birds and the sea lions. And through the years, as they sit there on these big rocks, Esther will say to Jerry, "I just need this one big rock." And she means that big rock. And then she will say to him, "You just get that end and I'll get the other end." Teasing. And she's been playing this game for many, many years. Anytime they see a big rock, especially those big rocks that sprawl that you can lay your body on, Esther wants them. So recently, in building their new office, they made a decision to put a water feature in. And a company from California gave them a proposal, and they gave them a clay model. And the clay model just looks like a little river stream sort of winding through this place, and there's a little pond at the end of it. And Esther and Jerry agreed that it would be wonderful to have some moving water there, and so they signed the contract. And then the water garden was begun and nearly finished while Jerry and Esther were away. And when they returned to Texas to find truckload after truckload of great big rocks had been brought in, and Jerry has been commenting to Esther over and over again, he can hardly believe it, that all she's been saying is, "I would like that rock, I would like that rock," and it seems that all of them have now been brought to Texas. Now, Esther has not been thinking about those rocks. In other words, she has not been missing them or lamenting the fact that she didn't have them or programming for them or doing virtual realities about them either. In other words, everything that you have ever said that you want is on its way to you as long as you are in the place of allowing it to be. Is it possible to be offering a vibration that is allowing about one thing and a vibration that is not allowing about another thing without messing up the thing that you are wanting? And what we would say about that is, if Esther were feeling uncomfortable about things not coming to her, or if she had something that she'd really been wanting that was not coming and she'd really been focused on it, then perhaps the rocks would have not made their easy way to her. In other words, your feeling of allowing is a general feeling rather than a specific feeling. Really, the simple answer and the accurate answer is just get feeling good, and everything you want will come. And if it's easier to feel good about some things than others, then that's what we would feel good about.
Sure. Great, thank you. I've studied many schools of psychology, and from what I've learned through Abraham, through you, is the simplest, yet most profound and comprehensive. Good is good, bad is bad.
And once you remember it, everything that you've learned from other places begins to make sense. In other words, there are a lot of very effective counseling techniques that, when you understand what is at their basis, you understand why they work. And it helps you to understand why it will work with one person and not with another once you understand vibration. Yes.
Yes. And thank you so much for helping me to realize more, too, about my vibration. I'm ever eager to learn more that my vibration be consistent with my perception.
Well, you are usually the last person to really be aware of what your vibration is.
Yes.
In other words, almost all of you see yourself as it is reflected back through others, rather than as it is offered purely from your own inner being. And when you really decide to start paying attention to the way you feel, that's when you are able to then offer a vibration that attracts to you. Let's say that you have met a stranger and you have an uncomfortable encounter. The thing that we would like you to begin saying to yourself, whether it is an uncomfortable encounter or a comfortable encounter, this was my doing. Now, at first, that will feel a little unsettling to you because it feels like somebody should do something about that. In other words, I didn't like how this went and somebody should do something about that. But the trouble with saying somebody should do something about that, meaning somebody else should do something about that, which is almost what you always mean when you say somebody should do something about that, is that you can't make them do it. You can't control what they do. But you can control what you do vibrationally. And so when you start assuming your responsibility for everything that happens to you, then you begin to realize that through some practice, you can begin to evoke from all others things that please you when you evoke it. In the beginning, it feels like you'd rather they would clean up their act so that you could feel better. But when you realize there's far too many of them with far too many different acts, it becomes overwhelming. And when you start practicing this game of virtual reality, where you begin to evoke the best from others, then what you begin to realize is your world will be exactly as you want it to be because you've learned how to master your own vibration. Have you ever known children, adults too, who behave one way with one person and another way with another? Esther had the experience recently where she was feeling overwhelmed and was really moving fast, trying to get a lot of things checked off her list. And she knew she was not in her place of best connection. She knew it, but she had sort of said, too bad, I don't have time to mess with this. I'm just going to get this list checked off and I'll get connected later, was sort of the mood attitude that she was in. Which is just fine. It's just a bumpier ride, that's all. And then a dear friend that she hadn't seen in months, who she adores and who she knows adores her, came by the office. And as Esther was visiting, she could just feel the best of herself coming back. And she said to her maid, she sucked it right out of me. Her vibration was in such a place of well-being. And her expectation of rendezvousing with that part of Esther was in such a dominant place that she just influenced it right out of Esther. Influenced Esther right back into her connection. And Esther said, I need more like that. And we say, here we go again. Of course it's nice when there are those like that around you, but it's not their job to be there. And it's not their job to do that. It's your job to practice that vibration yourself. And if you will see yourself as that who brings that from others, then you will attract others to you that bring that from you. It's a vicious cycle of well-being, you see. Yes.
Thank you.
I have wonderful coworkers, but what I've noticed in that being on the leading edge, it can be interesting. I mean, you know, they ask me, do I take happy pills and so forth? Because, like, I have one coworker who now has just been diagnosed with breast cancer, is going to start chemo, and there's others that have other physical ailments, and I would love to offer them Reiki or offer them Abraham, you know, but I don't want to be tarred and feathered in this little Baptist Bible Belt area that I'm at. You know, I want to keep my cover.
As you see them in their life and you assume their judgment of your life, then you're experiencing it all as if you had come out of the closet and allowed them to see the degree of the weirdness that is you. Because you're assuming their response without giving them the opportunity to discover it on their own. In other words, your expectation is that. And what we would encourage all of you to do is to begin practicing the idea that we're all different, but we're all the same. And we are all pure positive energy, and we are all allowing it to different degrees. And there are many, as someone said, paths that lead to the same inevitable place of connection. Try a little harder to pigeonhole a little less. Give more people the benefit of the doubt expect them to love you if they really got to know you, rather than expect them to not like you if they really got to know you.
Well, I guess more my concern is, they come to me and they say, oh, I'm in so much pain, and I'm biting my tongue because I know there's a...
But the thing that we think
there's a better way.
But the thing that we want to say to you is, if there were not something active in your vibration, they would not be coming. Mm-hmm. So either the reason they're coming is because you know you've got answers and part of them wants it, or the reason they're coming is because you don't want them to come, or the reason they're coming is because you think they're going about it in the wrong way. In other words, there's something active in your vibration or they wouldn't be coming. So you've either got to stop thinking about them, or what we would do, we would imagine them thriving. We would imagine them receiving guidance from a lot of different sources. We would take each of them that you care about to a virtual reality, and we would fast forward through their experience and imagine the outcome is a very good one, and we would hold that image. In fact, we think that that is part of the reason that they come to you, because they do feel optimism from you, and in most cases they could use a strong dose of optimism. But they can also feel a reluctance from you to spill your guts about what you know. And so some of them are intuitively knowing that you have knowledge, and they are coming sort of hoping that you will share it. Mostly we want to say to you, don't overthink this. It's not your job to fix anything. Many of them will not listen anyway. In other words, just don't make such a big thing. You've talked in this very short period of time that we've been together, you've made several references to this Baptist Bible Belt. We think it's way more important to you than it needs to be.
Okay.
In other words, there are a whole lot of mixtures of energy within this environment. In other words, there are a whole lot of energies that have nothing to do with any kind of religion. You are all, first and foremost, source energy. And the label of your religion or the label of your politics doesn't have anything to do with that. You are much more in vibrational harmony with one another than any of you will ever know. Some of you are very vibrationally tied together. And so we're not encouraging you to bring yourself out into the open and give somebody information that they're not ready for. We're not encouraging that at all. But we do not think that optimism is something that is a big mystery. We don't think anticipating well-being is something that is a great mystery. We don't think laughing and smiling in the face of adversity is a very big mystery. And we don't think it outs you in any way. We don't think that giving someone a good word or patting someone on the back or just saying, I intuitively know that you're going to be all right, we don't think that that exposes you in any strange way. There are all kinds of people in all kinds of very strict religious settings that have been having all kinds of metaphysical experiences from the very beginning of time. The Bible that they're all toting around is the most metaphysical book that has ever been written. In other words, there's much more about visions and all kinds of things in that book than almost anything that you would read today. In other words, it's time for you to stop worrying about the Bible Belt and accept that they are all in on this too. In other words, all of them have inner beings. All of them have source energy. All of them are extensions of that. All of them have insecurities. All of them want to feel better. All of them want to be uplifted. All of them would uplift if they thought that they had the opportunity. In other words, you are not as strange and as foreign and as diverse as you think you are. Really, you are not. We are all making much too much of all of this. Much too much. Life is supposed to be good. It's supposed to feel fun. People are supposed to be your friends. They are supposed to evoke from you good things. You are supposed to evoke from them good things. You are not supposed to all want the same things. You've come with great variety. It's not virtuous to be the same. It's not inappropriate to be different. In other words, all of it's all right. Just make a decision that no matter what, you're going to feel good. And you're not going to let all these petty little things that have been worrisome for so long, that you've been taught by so many who are around you, you're just not going to play that game anymore. Next time somebody puts you in a position where you feel that way just a little bit, stop and say, oh yeah, I promised myself I wasn't going to do that anymore. And they say, do what? And you say, worry about what you think. I promised myself I wasn't going to do that anymore. I promised myself I was going to give myself the benefit of the doubt and give you the benefit of the doubt and assume that you love me. And we don't think one of them will say, well, you're wrong. I don't.